Let us continue from zoology. First, we are going to discuss from section A, 35 questions. Question number 1. Which of the following is used in DNA fingerprinting? DNA fingerprinting uses a single standard radioactive probe that are washed over the nylon surface to allow their joining to any DNA fragments of same composition, thereby matching different DNA samples. Double standard probes would not hybridize with DNA fragments present on the nylon membrane. So the answer is option C, probe. Question number 2. Which of these pairs of organisms are bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic? The members of phyla Aschelminthes and Platyhelminthes are triploblastic and bilaterally symmetrical. Ascaris is a roundworm, while Planaria is a freshwater flatworm. So the answer is option A, Ascaris and Planaria. Question number 3. An asexual structure is shown in the given diagram. In which of the following organism the given structure is found? Asexual reproductive structures like zoospores, conidia, buds, gemmules are found in different types of organisms. Zoospores, example, members of kingdom fungi and simple plants like algae, chlamydomonas. Conidia, commonly seen in penicillium. Buds, hydra. Gemmules are seen in sponges. So the given diagrammatic representation is gemmule, found in sponges. Question number 4. The supporting cells of nerve tissue is neurons and glial cells make the neural system. Neurons are specialized cells that are responsible for transmission of signals. Neural glial cells support neurons. Neurons are main conducting cells but occupy less than one of the volume, while supporting cells occupy more than half of the volume. These cells do not show conduction but can regenerate. Oligodendrocytes, Schwann cells, microglial cells are its examples. These cells protect neurons by phagocytosis. So the answer for this question is option B. The supporting cells of nerve tissue is neuroglia. Question number 5. Choose the correct statements from the given following statements. Cockroach belong to phylum Arthropoda. The body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. Head is made up of 6 segments and it is freely movable in all directions. Thorax is made up of 3 parts: prothorax, mesothorax and metathorax. The abdomen is made up of 10 segments in both male and female. So the answer is option D. Abdomen of both males and female cockroach is made up of 10 segments. That is the correct statement. Question number 6. The given figure shows 3 velocity substrate concentration curves for an enzyme reaction. What do the curve X, Y and Z depict respectively? So in the given diagrammatic representation, enzymes are biocatalysts or proteinaceous substances that are capable of catalyzing chemical reactions of biological system without themselves undergoing any change. The graph X shows normal enzyme reaction, Y shows competitive inhibition and Z shows non-competitive inhibition. So the answer for this question is option A. The given diagrammatic representation, X shows normal enzyme reaction, Y shows competitive inhibition, Z shows non-competitive inhibition. Question number 7. Which of the following statement regarding enzyme inhibition is correct? Here there are 4 statements are given. Inhibition of an enzyme can be competitive or non-competitive. Competitive inhibition is seen when the substrate and the inhibitor compete for the same active site on the enzyme as their structures are similar. An example of competitive inhibition was demonstrated experimentally for the enzyme succinic dehydrogenase, which catalyzes the oxidation of succinate to fumarate in the Krebs cycle. So the answer for this question is option C. Competitive inhibition is seen when the substrate and the inhibitor compete for an active site. Question number 8. The diagram below shows the cell cycle. Which of the following process occur during V? See the diagrammatic representation. In the given diagram, V labeled phase in the G1 phase. G1 phase marks the start of interphase. G1 phase is the metabolically active phase, and during this phase, the cell grows in size. Synthesis of mRNA and the protein of DNA synthesis occur. So the answer for this question is option D. High metabolic rate and synthesis of protein and cellular organelles takes place in the represented V. Question number 9. The enzyme salivary amylase breaks down starch into maltose at pH of. If saliva secreted into the oral cavity contains electrolytes and enzymes such as salivary amylase and lysozyme. The chemical process of digestion is initiated in the oral cavity by the hydrolytic action of the carbohydrate splitting enzyme. The salivary amylase, approximately 30% of starch is hydrolyzed here by the enzyme. So the answer for this question is option B, 6.8. Question number 10. An oval mass of white matter present above the medulla oblongata act as. An oval mass of white matter present above the medulla oblongata act as pneumotoxic center. Pons varoli is situated in front of the cerebellum, below the midbrain and above the medulla oblongata. It relates impulses between the medulla oblongata and more superior part of the brain, between the hemispheres of the cerebellum and between the cerebrum and cerebellum. It contains centers that work with those in the medulla to regulate breathing. So the answer is option D, pneumotaxic center. Question number 11. The blood pressure values of 4 persons are given below. See the given blood pressure value. Who among the following has normal blood pressure? So you all know the difference between hypertension and hypotension. Hypertension term for blood pressure that is higher than normal. The normal blood pressure is 120 by 80. In this measurement, 120 systolic value or pumping pressure and 80 mm is the diastolic value or resting pressure. If repeated checks of blood pressure of an individual, 140 by 90 means 140 denoted as systolic, 90 diastolic or higher, it shows hypertension. High blood pressure lead to heart diseases and also affects vital organs like brain and kidney. So the answer for this question is option A. Mr. A is having normal blood pressure 120 by 80, 120 systolic, 80 diastolic. Question number 12. Read the following statements. From the given 4 statements, how many statements are correct? Go through the statements. Lymph is blood white, that is lymph is blood without RBC. Plasma without the clotting factor is called as serum. The universal donor is O negative because it does not have Rh antigen which is present in an O positive individual. The Rh antigen can induce an immune response, hence O negative, not O positive. O negative is a universal donor. So the answer for this question is option C. From the given 4 statements, only 2 statements are correctly given. Question number 13. Which one of the following statement is correct with respect to kidney function regulation? Antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin is secreted from neurohypophysis or the posterior pituitary. ADH stimulates reabsorption of water from last part of distal convoluted tubule and entire collecting duct by increasing the permeability of cells. This leads to reduction in urine volume and decrease in osmolarity of blood. The answer for this question is option B. When someone drinks lot of water, ADH releases is suppressed is given. So that statement is correct with respect to kidney function regulation. Question number 14. How many of the following animals are ureotelic? Here some animal names are given. Shark, human, skate and frog are ureotelic. Types of animals on the basis of excretory waste. Aminotelic examples. Many bony fishes, aquatic amphibians, aquatic insects. Ureotelic. Marine fishes, many terrestrial amphibians and mammals. Uricotelic. Insects, land snails, reptiles and birds. So the answer for this question is option C. There are 4 animals are ureotelic. Question number 15. Which of the following statement is correct about skeletal muscle? Skeletal muscles have thin elongated cells with blunt cells. They are derived from mesoderm and are under voluntary control. Faint striations and intercalated discs are seen in cardiac muscles. Thin elongated cells with tapering ends are seen in smooth muscles. So the answer is option C. They are derived from mesoderm and are voluntary in action. That is correct about skeletal muscle. Question number 16. With reference to different structures of the human brain, which one is an incorrect match? Medulla oblongata of hindbrain is containing centers which control respiration, cardiovascular reflexes, gastric secretion, and vomiting. Hypothalamus of forebrain contains a number of centers which control body temperature, urge for eating, and drinking. So the answer is option C. Medulla oblongata controls respiration, cardiovascular reflexes, excitement, and urge for eating and drinking is given. That is the incorrect match. Question number 17. Adrenaline and noradrenaline are hormones that epinephrine is always called as adrenaline and norepinephrine is always called as noradrenaline act as both neurotransmitters and hormones in the body. They both play important role in the body's fight or flight response, and when they are released into the bloodstream they cause an increase in the blood pressure, heart rate, and blood sugar level. So the answer is option D. About adrenaline and noradrenaline hormones, all the three statements are correctly given. Question number 18. Select the incorrect match. Here, pars distalis, it is always called as anterior pituitary. In the anterior pituitary, growth hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormones are secreted. The pars intermedia secrete melanocyte stimulating hormone. Here the incorrect match is vasopressin. Vasopressin is always called as vasopressin is secreted in the posterior pituitary, but here given anterior pituitary. That is incorrect match. Question number 19. Read the following statement. From the given statements, how many of the statements are incorrect? Isthmus in thyroid is the thin flap of connective tissue. A is incorrectly given. C. Source of growth hormone and prolactin is same. So that also incorrectly given. So from the given 4 statements, A and C is incorrectly given. So the answer is option C. 2 statements are incorrectly given. Question number 20. Select the parts of the female reproductive system that is homologous to the penis of the male. The male, scrotum, testis, corpus gland, penis, skin glands are given. In the female, these reproductive organs are labia majora, ovary, Bartholin glands, clitoris, prostate gland is given. So here the shared function is clitoris. So the answer for this question is option D. Question number 21. The changes that occur in female at the onset of puberty are the enlargement of breast, the beginning of the menstrual cycle, and the stoppage of growth of long bone and height are the changes that occurs in females at onset of puberty, and these are called as secondary sexual characters. So the answer is option D. All the changes that are taken place during puberty. So the answer is option D. Question number 22. Amniocentesis is used for determining. Amniocentesis is a test done to determine the sex of the fetus and disorder. It is based on chromosomal patterns in the amniotic fluid surrounding the embryo. It is legally banned for the determination of sex, but it is used to kill the normal female fetus. So the answer is option C. Amniocentesis is used to determine hereditary diseases of embryo. Question number 23. Select the correct statement. Barrier method of contraception. This method prevents the ovum and sperms from physically meeting. Such methods are available for both males and females. For examples, condoms. These are made up of thin rubber or latex sheath. that covers the penis in the male or vagina and cervix in females just before coitus so that the semen may not be ejaculated into the female reproductive tract. Neroth is one of the popular brand. Diaphragm, cervical caps and walls. These are made up of rubber that is inserted into female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during coitus. So the answer is option B. Cervical caps and walls both are barrier methods of contraception. This is a correct statement. Question number 24. The frequencies of alleles capital A and small a in a population at Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium are 0.7 and 0.3 respectively. In a random sample of 250 individuals taken from the population, how many are expected to be heterozygous? The Hardy-Weinberg equation is the mathematical equation that can be used to calculate the genetic variation of population at equilibrium. The equation is an expression of the principle known as Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, which states that the amount of genetic variation in a population will remain constant from one generation to the next in the absence of disturbing factors. So the answer is option C, 105. Question number 25. During an autoimmune disorder, in higher vertebrates, the ability to differentiate foreign organisms like pathogens from self cells is observed, and this is the basis of an immune response. Sometimes due to genetic and other unknown reasons, the body attacks self cells. This results in damage to body and it is called autoimmune disease. Rheumatoid arthritis, which affect many people in our society, is an autoimmune disease. So the answer is option D, both B and C. The immune system loses the ability to differentiate between foreign antigens from self antigens. The immune system attacks self cells and cause damage to them. So both are correct about autoimmune disorder. Question number 26. How many of the following are diseases that can be caused by bacteria? Here, diseases caused by bacteria: typhoid, pneumonia, malaria. Amoeba is caused, that is, protozoan disease example, amoebiasis. Askelminthetic disease is ascariasis. Askelminthetic, another disease is filariasis. Common cold caused by virus. So the answer is option D. Typhoid caused by bacteria and pneumonia also caused by bacteria. From the given diseases, typhoid and pneumonia are caused by bacteria. So the answer is option D, only 2. Question number 27. Here 4 statements are given. Read the following statements about cancer, identify true and false ones and select the correct option. From the given statements, statement A, cancer cells lose the property of contact inhibition. That is true. The property of metastasis is mostly found in benign tumors. That is false. C, the transformation of normal cells into cancerous cells occurs only because of chemical agents. That also false statement. See the statement D, the chemical carcinogen present in tobacco smoke is major cause of lung cancer. That is true. So the answer is option A. From the given 4 statements, statement A and D true, B and C are false. Question number 28. Bees are known to play an important role in pollination. Which of the following implemented to increase pollination efficiency in crop field? Keeping beehives in crop field during flowering season is one of the efficiency to promote pollination in the crop field. So the answer is option A. Bees are pollinators of many crop species such as sunflower, brassica, apple and pear. Keeping beehives in crop field during the flowering period increases pollination efficiency and improves the yield, beneficial both from the point of view of crop yield and honey yield. Question number 29. Read the following statements regarding agarose gel electroporosis and select the correct one. From the given statements, statement 1, the longest DNA fragment is nearest to the anode is given. Here, the DNA fragments can be separated by a technique known as electroporosis, where the molecules having a net negative charge migrate towards positive electrode, that is service called as anode, whereas net positively charged molecules migrate towards negative electrode, it is called as cathode. The negatively charged DNA fragments can be separated by forcing them to move towards the anode under an electric field through a medium agarose, a natural polymer extracted from seaweed. Thus, larger fragments move slowly when compared with smaller ones, and they tend to remain nearer to the cathode. The DNA fragments separate according to their size throughout the sieving effect provided by an agarose gel. The smallest fragment in size moves the farthest. The process is used to check the progression of restriction enzyme digestion. So the answer is option C. From the given four statements, agarose gel electrophoresis, correct ones are second, third and fourth. Question number 30. The salt concentration is 30 to 35 in parts per thousand in. The salt concentration measured as salinity in parts per thousand is less than 5 in inland water, 30 to 35% in sea, and more than 100 in some hypersaline lagoons. So the answer is option B, C. Question number 31. The variation in potency and concentration of reserpine of Rolfia is an example of. Genetic diversity is the number and types of genes as well as chromosomes present in the different species and the variations in the genes and their alleles in the same species. Hence, the variation in potency and concentration of reserpine of Rolfia is a result of genetic diversity. So the answer is option A, genetic diversity. Question number 32. The value of Z, the slope of line, that is regression coefficient, is for mammals in the tropical forest of different continents. Alexander von Humboldt derived the species area relationship and observed that within a region, species richness increased with the increasing explored area, but only up to a limit. The relationship is a straight line described by the equation log S equal to log C plus Z log A, where S species richness, A area, Z slope of line, C equal to Y intercept. The value of Z line in the range of 0.1 to 0.2 regardless of taxonomic group of the region. If we analyze the species area relationship among very large areas like entire continents, the slope of line will be much steeper. That means Z values in the range of 0.6 to 1.2 for frugivorous fruit eating birds and mammals in the tropical forest of different continents. The slope is to be 1.15. So the answer is option C, 1.15. Question number 33. Which size of particulate matter is considered to be most harmful for human health? According to Center for Pollution Control Board, particle size less than 2.5 microns or less are more harmful human health as they are easily inhaled and result in various respiratory diseases. The answer is option C. 2.5 mm or less than 2.5 mm particulate matter is considered to be most harmful for human health. Question number 34. The correct arrangement of events in the cardiac cycle according to their duration is. See the options. The cardiac cycle includes systole and diastole in a cyclic manner. It includes joint diastole, ventricular systole and atrial systole. Duration of the total cardiac cycle is 0.8 second. The duration are atrial diastole last 0.7 seconds, ventricular diastole 0.5 seconds, ventricular diastole 0.3 second and ventricular systole 0.3 and atrial systole is 0.1 second. So the correct order is option A. From zoology, section A followed by section B. From section B we are going to discuss 15 questions. Question number 1. Roundworms are different from platyhelminthes in which of the following features? Platyhelminthes have an incomplete digestive system, but the digestive system is complete in askhelminthes or roundworms. So the answer is option B. Roundworms have complete digestive system. Question number 2. Which of the following statement is correct about cockroach? In cockroach, both males and females have 10 abdominal segments. In females, the genital pouch is made up of 7th, 8th and 9th abdominal sterna. Out of this, 7th sternum is boat-shaped. In male cockroaches, the genital pouch is bound by the 9th abdominal sternum on the ventral side and 9th and 10th terga on the dorsal side. So the answer is option D. Question number 3. Read the following statements. Identify the true and false statements. Statement 1. All the carbon compounds that we get from living tissues can be called as biomolecules. Yes, it is true. The second statement. The ash formed after burning a tissue contains inorganic and organic substances. That is false. Statement 3. Beta amino acids are used by the cells to form proteins. That also false. From the given 3 statements, statement 1 alone true. So the correct option is B. Question number 4. Tubulin protein is synthesized in which phase of cell cycle? Tubulin protein is synthesized during interphase of cell cycle. Interphase is portion of cell cycle that is not accompanied by observable changes under the microscope and includes the G1, S and G2 phase. So the answer is option C. Question number 5. Select the statement that is correct related to movement of diaphragm and intercostal muscles for the process of effortless exhalation. The process of effortless exhalation is a passive process which involves relaxation of diaphragm and external intercostal muscles. The answer is option A. Diaphragm relax and external intercostal muscles relax. Question number 6. Which organ is responsible for the secretion of the erythropoietin hormone? Erythropoietin is a peptide hormone produced by juxtaglomerular cells in the kidney. So the answer is option B, kidney. It stimulates the formation of RBC. It is commonly called as erythropoiesis. Spleen is known as graveyard for RBC. Question number 7. The antrum is a fluid-filled cavity of Graafian follicle. The antrum is fluid-filled space found in the antral or Graafian follicle. It is also called as follicular cavity. It is also called liquor follicle. This fluid rich in the hyaluronic acid and it is used in a modified intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So the answer is option A, fluid filled cavity of Graafian follicle. Question number 8. Which of the following organism invaded in the land first? The first organism that invaded land were plants about 350 million years ago. The origin of jaws fishes, fishes that have stout and strong fins, could move on land and again go back to the water. Later on, amphibians evolved into reptiles that lay thick shelled eggs that were resistant to dryness. In the next 200 million years, reptiles developed different shapes and sizes and dominated on Earth. So the answer is option A. Plants or the organisms invaded the land first. Question number 9. Which of the following option about various types of antibodies is correct? There are 5 types of antibodies such as immunoglobulin gamma, immunoglobulin alpha, immunoglobulin muta, immunoglobulin delta and immunoglobulin epsilon. Immunoglobulin gamma is the most abundant antibody forming, that is 80% of total antibodies produced by IgG. It is the only antibody that can pass through the placenta. It is formed in the secondary immune response. So the answer is option B. The most abundant antibody is IgG and the antibody which is the largest in size is IgM. Question number 10. Identify the correct answer with respect to RNA interference. Here there are 2 statements are given. It is an event of post-transcriptional gene silencing is given. Statement B is it works through RNA-induced silencing complex. Both the statements are correctly given in order respect to RNA interference. So the answer is option C, both A and B. Question number 11. Among the following types of soil in increasing order based on the size of mineral particles in them. See the statements. The particle size of clay is 0.002 mm, while that silt is 0.0022 to 0.05 mm. The particle size of fine sand is 0.05 to 0.2 mm, while that of coarse sand is 0.2 to 2 mm. So the answer for this question is option B. The soil in the increasing order, clay, silt and fine sand. That is the correct option. Question number 12. Select the false statement. Some interesting aspects about earth biodiversity are animal species is greater than 70%. Plant species including algae, fungi, bryophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms 22%. Other species include prokaryotic and protist species lesser than 8%. So the answer for this question is option B. Prokaryotic species are more in number in comparison to animal species is given. That is a false statement. Question number 13. What gets removed during the processing of proinsulin to insulin? During the conversion of proinsulin to insulin, C-peptide is removed from proinsulin. In mammals, including humans, insulin is synthesized as a prohormone, like a proenzyme. The prohormone also needs to be processed before it becomes a fully matured and functional hormone, which contains an extra stage called C-peptide. The C-peptide is not present in mature insulin, so it is removed during maturation into active insulin. So the answer is option B. Question number 14. Microtubules from opposite poles of spindle get attached to the kinetochore of sister chromatids during. The two cells produced from meiosis 1 will enter into meiosis 2, in which each of the cells has two chromatids. In metaphase 2, the centromere of individual chromosome is attached to the two kinetochore microtubules from either side and chromosomes are arranged in the center. In anaphase 2, splitting up centromere of each chromosome and in prophase 2, nuclear membranes disappear. Along with that, chromosome become compact. So the answer is option B. Microtubules from opposite poles of spindle get attached to kinetochore of sister chromatids during metaphase 2. Question number 15. Match the following. See the column A and column B. Catalytic converter, carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide. So you all know the electrostatic precipitator. It is the most widely used way to remove particulate matter. It can remove over 99% particulate matter from the exhaust of thermal power plant. Scrubber, it can remove gases like sulfur dioxide. So A is matching with carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide. Electrostatic precipitator is B is matching with particulate matter. C, EMF is matching with fourth one, high noise level. Landfills, it is matching with solid waste. So the correctly matching option is A. Thank you for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. All the best.